Okay. It's easier to see up here when you're not. All right. All right. So you might ask yourself, we spent what, 3 days talking about logarithms, right? 2 of those days we didn't even use the term logarithm. We did what? We asked ourselves what? What power? What power? And then we said, well, we like using Latin and Greek instead of English, so we did, because it makes us feel superior, Jesse. That's why. If I can use Latin or Greek and you don't know what I'm talking about, then I feel better than you. And here I am giving you this knowledge so you can feel better than someone else. Right? I'm sorry? I took 2 semesters of Latin in college. So that's like taking a year, well, that's like taking 2 years of Spanish, except it was Latin. Because a semester in college is like a year in high school.
How much do you remember?
I know how to change nouns around, and I know how to change verbs around.
Is this one?
Nope, back on the table there. I'm handing this out a little bit later. So I know how to change nouns around and change verbs around. Interesting thing about Latin, who wants to know about Latin? So the interesting thing about Latin is, who here has taken Spanish or French with Madame? Right? What do you do to verbs? You conjugate them, right? You put endings on them to mean, like I said, or I have in Spanish is tengo, right? So I have a hood on and I shouldn't, would be yo tengo un hood. Except I don't know what hood is in Spanish, but tengo is I do that verb, right? And tienes would be you do that verb. And tiene would be he or she does that verb. And then there's plural verbs, right? Or plural forms of that verb. In Latin, you do that with verbs, but you also do something similar to nouns. So like the form of, or the Latin translation of king is, I forget what the base is. It's I don't even want to do that one because that's an irregular noun. Let me think of another one. Well, Roman. Roman is a Latin word for somebody from Rome. So singular of Roman is Roman. Okay? And if I use it in a sentence as a subject, I use Roman. Now, if I use it in a possessive form, how would I do that in English? Like a Roman's coat. I put apostrophe S at the end, right? In Latin, I just end it with an I. So instead of Roman, I say Romani. That's the same as possessive. And then if I said the Roman went to the market, the placement of the noun with respect to the preposition is such in English, right? I put the noun and then I put to the market. In Latin, I don't do that. I put Romanum el market, or something to that effect. I don't know what market is in Latin. But I can put Romanum market, or I can put market Romanum. Order doesn't matter. It's the ending on the word that tells you what the meaning is. So it's really, it blows your brain. It blows your brain up. Because you have to think of language in a completely different way. But I digress. Golly. I spent 5 minutes talking about Latin. I've never had such attention. What's up with that? Anyhow, okay. But logarithm, we got the word logarithm not from Latin, but from what? That was from Greek, not that word, Josh.
My grandma. She actually did those.
Yeah, but we don't need to use that word, right? All right. So, thank you. Jimmy Buffett shoes. Anyhow, okay, so when they say what power of 2 equals 8, how do I say that in math speak? Did I use what power? I started out with that, right? But that was only to get you guys thinking of this question in a certain way. But what did I replace what power with?
Log.
Thank you. Thank you. This is the same thing as saying log base 2 of 8. And if I translated that into a sentence, so now I'm kind of going back to the original question, I'm asking what power of 2 gets me 8? And when I ask it that way, Cam's got it. 2 to the 3rd power gets me 8. Okay. Now, let's think about letter B. It says, evaluate what power of 5 gets me 625. So, what power of 5? So 5 to what power gets me 625? 4, right? 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. 125 times 5 is 625. So to the 4th power. So that would be log base 5 of 625 equals 4. Okay, let's just review. That's getting us thinking back in the sense of logarithms again. Now, this stuff is going to be for you. I want you to think about this exploratory challenge. Okay? Autumn is starting a new club with 8 members. Brett? 8 members, including herself. Now, everybody gets an identification code made up of A's and B's. Okay? So maybe Autumn calls herself AA. Which, yeah, it's an unfortunate code for Autumn, but we're going to run with this, okay? I knew somebody was going to come up with that, Andy. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so we're going to try 2 letters, and we're going to see if we can name all 8 people, given each only a 2-letter code. I want you guys to start on that and see how far you get.
Do those letters include lowercase or no?
Nope, just A, capital B. How you doing, my sister? Who's that? Oh, okay. You know what? I haven't even taken attendance yet.
Oh, well, that's it.
Yeah, it's good that I am delinquent in my duties. Andy, Rose, Josh, Abby, Mel, so Joe. All right, let's do the activity, please. Jesse, Trey, Bella. Kayla, you're not. Oh yeah, okay. Gotcha. You're still listed as late. Jasmine Taylor. Yes. Yeah, from this morning I imagine. Kaya. Ava. Brad. We should be done with, if we're talking, we should be trying, that means you found ways to assign everybody a unique 2-letter code. Ooh, ooh. Giselle here? Is Giselle here? All right. So, how many people were we able to assign a unique two-letter code to? Four. So, let me get, if we did this all systematic-like, we probably assigned Chris an AB. And then we assigned Tia, I'm sorry, that's the car I used to drive. That I assigned her BA. And then Jimmy, I'll assign BB. Okay. Now, but can I give Robert a unique code? No, I've gone through all four of them, right? What do I need to do?
Add some extra letters.
How many extra letters do I need to add? Let's start with 1 and see if that works. And then if it doesn't work, we can move on to 2, right? That's a fair thing, right? So now, let's do this. Here's a nice little idea. Let's do Robert, AA, Jillian, AB, Tia, BA, and Jillian AB, Ben, BA, and Scott, BB. So does everybody see what I did here? I just basically transferred this code over here, this code over here, this code over here, and the last code over here. Does everybody see what I did there? Now, what do you think is going to be on the other side? Brett? What do you think is going to be on the other side? Bees. Bees. Oh, I should have done green and red.
Christmas colors.
No.
Wild colors.
Port and starboard.
Huh?
Port and starboard.
Is that even English?
Oh, yes.
It's Navy speak.
It's the Navy speak. Oh.
What is port and starboard? Like
Port and starboard.
No,
Okay, I really didn't understand
where
that
are
for a
those
second. I
places?
thought you were talking about a person. I'm like, I don't know any port and starboard.
So on the boat, on the front of the boat, right? You got a little light. Half of it's red, and half of it actually. If you're sitting in the boat looking forward, half of it's red, half of it's green, right? You know why they got that light?
No.
So when I'm driving at night on the boat, right?
Yeah.
I'm driving, right?
Yeah.
And I see another boat in the distance. I see a red light and a green light right next to each other, right? So I know which way they're going. Maybe they're going away from me. If they're red and green line up on the same side as my red and green,
You're following.
then I'm following them. If they're opposite, then I'm coming at, yeah.
And we're heading for a Titanic situation.
There you go. Very cool. So how many letters did I need?
3.
I needed 3. Now, is there a coincidence to that?
No.
How many letters did I use?
3.
Well, I used 2 letters. I used A and B, right?
I got it.
But I needed 3 of them, right? Now riddle me this. 2 letters, right? And I had 3 of them in each code, right? What is 2 to the 3rd power? 8. And how many people did I have? Coincidence? I think not. You guys are catching all my idioms. All right. Using A's and B's, how many characters would be needed to assign each club member a unique ID code? We just answered that, right?
Yeah, I feel that.
2 to the 3 equals 8. Okay. Now, we just had a major recruitment run in Autumn's club. I don't know how secret club and recruitment drives go hand in hand, but we just did, and we got 16 members now. How many digits or how many characters do I need to assign each person a unique code? 2 to the 4th, because I got 2 characters, A or B, right? And I need to make enough characters or enough codes to meet 16 people. So, how do I answer that question?
The 4th bit.
I say, what power of 2 gives me 16? What power of 2 gets me 16? And we got a name for this in math, right? One that's derived in Greek, so that I can feel superior to those kids in Algebra 1 that haven't learned Greek yet, right? Ha! So, what do we call that? Log. Or logarithm, if I'm being... So log base 2 of 16 equals what? 4, right? 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. So 16 people could be given a secret code with 4 letters using only A's and B's. So, let's do this again. Let's do the same codes we did before. Autumn was A. Chris was A, B, A. Tia was B, A. Matt. Jimmy was B, A. And then Robert, Jillian, Benjamin, and Scott were the same 4 of the first 2 letters, but then with just B at the end. So then it was A, B, and then it was A, B, B. Then it was B, A, B, Bab, and then it was B, B, B. Now, just like we did on the first page, let's transcribe these codes over to the second column and write them all down, right? You see how I'm being systematic about this stuff, and it makes it really easy? Are you just saying I'm emulating Hitler right there?
No.
That's what he just said, isn't it?
No, I said I was gonna say that's why Hitler went about it systematically, because when you learn about the Holocaust, nobody ever says Hitler went about the Holocaust very unorganized. They always said Hitler very systematically attempted to annihilate one group of people, several groups of people. So
I'm sorry, it's not that I'm ignoring you, Andrew. It's just that I'm ignoring you.
that's really
No, seriously, I'm trying to pay attention to what I'm doing here. I just said that because it was cheeky and funny, right? You know how I know is I got like 3-4 people up here to laugh at me.
Hey, is everyone gonna laugh at you?
All right, so now I need to do a 4th character, right, Jeff? All right, I'm going to do A's over here, and I'm going to do B's over here. And then everybody's got a unique character, yes? But this time I'm going to stick to the port and starboard. So this is A, 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 A. And now, starboard, B, 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 and B. Now, does everybody have a unique code?
I don't
Now-
necessarily know.
Let me ask you this. Does anybody in the column on the left have a similar code to anybody in the column on the right? Not the same ones. Thank you for the distinction, Kaya. Nobody has identical identifiers. And we determined from the previous page that nobody in this column has the same 3 letters in black, right? Therefore, nobody in this column has the same 3 letters in black.
Yeah.
Make sense? Now, you done here? All right. A little video at the video. Oh, get this first. Get this first. Get this. Okay. So, here's what I want to do. So we're done with page 2, I believe. Oh,
There's describe pattern in words.
I'm
but
also
we
going-
talked about
we
it.
did talk about that. So I want you to go to screw exercise 1 and 2. Screw exercise 1 and 2. I am going to give you your assignment due on Monday.
Yo.
We're not doing 2. We are doing due on Monday. This example, and this exit ticket.
Now gone.
2 whole problems.
You guys always say that, but then it's always like, hey, here's part 64 of problem 2.
Next week.
It's always you one wrong.
Yes. You have to have your All right. Now, what did we do yesterday? What was the cahoot on?
The review.
The review. You guys really should be listening right now. This is important stuff. Before I do, though, let me turn off my thing, because